Hey guys, if you want to get a high tunnel in 2026, 2027, or 2028, stick around because I'm going to tell you how you can get that high tunnel for zero out of pocket. Now I know there are plenty of videos and they're telling you about cost sharing and how you have to pay and get reimbursed. But I am telling you there is another way. I am officially Fran, and this is Buchanan Oasis Farmstead. This is our new high tunnel, funded by USDA, NRCS, with EQIP. This high tunnel cost us $0 out of pocket. Yes, you can get a high tunnel for $0 out of pocket. If you would like to get a high tunnel in 2026 or 2027, follow this video. And I will tell you exactly how to get your high tunnel for $0 out of pocket. Now, for 2025, it's already too late. In most places, there may be some slim chance somewhere that they still have funding and don't have enough people and they want to get some out so that funding stays and that kind of thing. But for the most part, applications close. The latest, I believe, was somewhere maybe in Alaska. Their application period may have closed in like March. Otherwise, everybody's application period for 2025 closed at the beginning of 2025 in January or the end of 2024, October, November, December 2024. Okay, so everybody who is getting a high tunnel right now in 2025 have been contacted, have signed contracts, and they're out there shopping. Again, there's a very slim chance that you can still get one in 2025, but you have to already have an application in and be on the list. Now, even though the application period may close, they keep accepting applications on a rolling basis. All they do is accept them, and then they just fund them in the next year. That's what we're about to talk about. You getting in that application process now so that you're ready for 2026, 2027, or even 2028. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with funding. We don't know what's going to happen with the budget. So who cares? Do what you're supposed to. Get on the list so that whenever funding does open, you're right there to receive it. Because this high tunnel is, in the end, is going to cost us, I believe, $28. Before I said $50, but I redid the math, and it looks like $28. When I do the full walkthrough, I'll go over all of the costs and everything at that time. But, so, number one, to get a high tunnel, you need a farm and tract number. A lot of people call it a farm number. People call it farm tract number. I even call it a farm tract number. But they're two different numbers. It's a farm number and a tract number. The farm number is for your farm. The tract number is the tract of property. When you apply for that number, you will get those and you will see it on the paper, farm number, tract number. Okay, in order to get a farm number, I will be linking step-by-step instructions in the description. All you have to do is click on it and follow those instructions. Now, my instructions are the way that I did it, and I did everything through email. Some people like to go down to the office. Some people like to make a phone call. I don't like to do either. I don't like to do phone calls because there's no record back and forth of the exact date when I first started and who I talked to and all of that different kind of stuff. I like to do it in email because there is a record with a time stamp. I didn't go down to the office because I didn't know what documents I was going to need exactly. And if you go down there without something, depending on how far it is away from your home, then you got to go back. So the instructions in the description. Number one, you need a farm tract number. Number two, once you get that farm tract number, or while you're waiting on that farm tract number, one of the rules in order to get a high tunnel is you have to be growing in the ground for at least a year. In the ground, not a raised bed up here. Your raised bed can be on the ground no more than, I believe, 12 inches. But it still has to be, you still have to be growing in the ground. So that raised bed on the ground is nothing more than some lumber defining the area where you're still growing on the ground. So you must be growing in the ground. In order to qualify for a high tunnel, you must be growing crops, which is fruit, vegetables, and then flowers to be sold for a profit. Not native flowers, not new things, plain and simple crops, fruit, vegetable, herbs, and then flowers that are going to be sold. Don't try to do the exotic and all of that stuff. Now, number 3, once you get your farm number, you're going to want to you're going to want to email first. And if email doesn't work, then you call USDA. You want to get your rep down to do an inspection and let them know that you want a high tunnel. They're going to come out to your property, look at and see the fact that you're growing, and you have to be growing for at least a year in order to get on that list. But don't worry, it takes a year plus in order to get a high tunnel. So you need to get in the ground today so that when you get your farm number next week, you can call them out, and then starting from today to next year, you'll be ready for 2027 unless you're already growing in the ground and you can show that and they can see, you know, oh yeah, you've already been growing here. But listen, you can't have bought your new place in March and say you've been growing in the ground and it's May. You've only been there 2 months. You may have been growing at your other house. Doesn't count. It only counts where the high tunnel is going. Now, the next thing, I think I'm on number 4. The area, the square footage that you are growing in when they come out or currently is what they can fund you. Let me say that again. The square footage that you are using to grow currently, right now, or when they come out to do the inspection, is what you will be funded for. So if you're only growing in a 10 by 10 section, you're going to qualify for a small high tunnel. This area right here, we qualify for a 30 by 72, 2,160 square feet. This is the area where our garden was set up at. When they came out, this is what they measured. This is what we got. I asked for a 30 by 96, which I'm glad I didn't get, but we were actually growing in this area. The 96 would have been too big for us now based on what happened with the install and all that kind of stuff. We'll go back to that later. So again, if you want a 30 by 48, then you need to get out there in your yard, measure 30 by 50, and get to growing in that 30 by 50 so that when they come, they can measure and fund you for that 30 by 48 or whatever size it is that you need. But what they will go over a little bit if you're growing in a smaller area, but they are not going to see that you have 100 square foot area and then go ahead and give you a 2,000 square foot high tunnel. It's not going to happen. Now, they will count your areas of growing if they're all around your yard. So say you have a garden in the back and you have a patch in the front and you have an orchard of fruit trees over to the side. They will add all of those up, but you need to make sure you're covering yourself by just being in the area you want to grow in. And right now, even if you started your garden and you stop, get your tarps laid out, get the ground covered up in the area you want to be in for next season anyway. Okay, you got that. I think that was number 4. I got to put my hands up so I don't forget. Number 5, once they come out, do that inspection, talk to you about the high tunnel. Also ask for water catchment. I did not ask for water catchment in the very beginning, and I can't remember exactly when I did, which is why I always do an email. Even when they leave, I will do a recap email so that we're on the same page. And the time that I didn't do one, now I can't remember it. So ask for water catchment system with your high tunnel. You may not get it, but at least you ask for it and you can be on the list for that, because everything is just getting on a list. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to ask for this. They're going to go back and say, okay, and they may start an application for you now in 2025, or you may have to wait until 2026. But the main thing that you're going to do is you're going to either set up an email, which you can set up an email. You're going to schedule that email to come out on December 3rd, January 3rd, whatever it is, at the very end of the year or the very beginning of the year, okay? Because remember, some areas, those applications actually close in November. So if they come out to your place in May or June, they should be preparing that application for this year, which closes, and it means yours is already in. But you want to check and make sure. So either you remember to send an email or you schedule an email. And all you have to do is put your name, put your farm track number, and subject line with high tunnel application status request, something like that. In the body of it, you're going to say, "Hi, I am checking on the status of my high tunnel application." Period. Send the email off. Hopefully somebody will get back with you and say, "Oh, okay, we have your application. You need to come in and sign this or that," or the application period hasn't started yet. Whatever it is, you didn't have to go through all of that trouble. You remembered that email. Now, whatever email you send out in November, December, or January, 30 days later, you want to schedule another email to say, "Requesting a status on my high tunnel application." Okay? That next email goes out again. 30 days from that, you want another email schedule. So you can sit down, write all 3 of these emails, schedule them all 30 days apart. And all you have to do then is cancel an email if you already get the information. But if not, those are starting, because it's up to you to keep up with your place in line, with the status and what's going on. Okay? So we've done all of that. I think we're at number 6. Once you get awarded in 2026, at some point, they're going to reach out and say, "Hey, are you still interested in a high tunnel?" You tell them yes in the email. They're going to send you an intent letter. The intent letter says that you're still interested and you intend on getting this high tunnel. You're going to sign that, send it back to them, and then they're going to send you what is the contract and everything else. It's 5 or 6 different attachments, all about your high tunnel, your funding, what you have to do, what you're agreeing to. You are agreeing to grow for a minimum of 5 years in the ground in that high tunnel. Again, no raised beds, none of that different kind of stuff. You can only do raised borders, again, less than about 12 inches. So that's on the ground with a border around it, but you're growing in the ground. Not hydroponic, none of that. It's growing in the ground, and you're growing those crops, which are fruits, vegetables, herbs, and flowers that can be sold for a profit. Okay, we done with that. So once you get that intent letter, you send it back, you're going to get your contract. Read the contract. The contract tells you what you're being funded for, how many square feet, how much they pay per square foot, and then the total amount. If they tell you that they pay, in our case, they pay $8.08 a square foot. Okay, so that meant that they were paying for 2,160 square feet. They were awarding us 17,400 and some change. So now we go shop. Now, I was already shopping last year, finding my company. I was shopping 2 years ago, really. But last year, finding my company, going through everybody's specs, narrowing down so that when I did get my award, I knew exactly who I was going to. I already had a quote. Even though the quote was expired, I had one. So all I had to do was shoot that back to whatever company it was and say, "Hey, can you give me a new quote based off of what we were approved for?" So we were approved for 2,160 square feet at $8.08 a square foot, which is 17,400 and some change. Therefore, we picked a high tunnel that was 17,000 under 400 and some change. You can go bigger. You can add more things to it. You can pick a $20,000 high tunnel. You have to pay the difference between what you were awarded and what you chose. If you stay under or at what you were awarded, your high tunnel can be zero out of pocket. This is how you get the zero out of pocket. Pay attention. Let me make sure my shirt is right. Once you are all approved, received your letter, you've picked your company, you can ask for an advance payment. Okay, let me say that again. You can ask for an advance payment. Under certain circumstances, they can give you an advance payment towards the purchase of your high tunnel, meaning you don't have to pull the money out of your pocket, pay for it, and then get reimbursed. The reasons that you can ask for advance payment can change, but they were socially disadvantaged, beginning farmer, woman farmer, veteran farmer, all of those different things. Those things may not exist later, but you should ask for advance payment. You can also ask for advance assignment of payment. That is where you're asking for an advance payment, but you're assigning the payment directly over to the company that you are buying from, meaning that that advance half of the payment is going to go directly over to whoever you're buying it from. In our case, it was Nifty Hoops. I did not do an advance assignment of payment. I did an advance payment. The remainder balance, I did an assignment of payment. Nifty Hoops sent me a form. I filled out that form. They sent that form over to USDA to say that once you're done, instead of sending that last payment over to the Buchanans, you're going to send it directly to us, and we've authorized them to do so. So that's how you can get your high tunnel with zero out of pocket. Now, let me tell you, once you get your high tunnel installed, they have to come back out and inspect. They, meaning USDA, have to come out and inspect the high tunnel to make sure it meets all of the qualifications before they release that last amount, that last payment amount, that remainder balance. So what I did was, our high tunnel was scheduled to be installed on Tuesday the 20th. Today is Thursday. On Monday night, once I was basically sure that they were going to come on Tuesday and we were going to do it no matter what the weather was, at, I don't know, it may have been 1 o'clock in the morning, I sent an email to USDA asking them to come and inspect my high tunnel Thursday or Friday, which would have been today or tomorrow. They responded the next morning and said that they could come on Friday at about 12 o'clock. So tomorrow they should be here to do that inspection. The longer it takes for you to get your final inspection done is the longer it takes for you to receive your payment or to send payment over to your vendor. Now, if you don't want to keep your vendor waiting, you will schedule that inspection as soon as possible. Again, if you know you're getting your high tunnel installed on Monday, you send them an email on Monday and ask them to come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever it is. In the event that something happens and you don't get it installed, you just send an email and say, I need to change the date to next Monday. But you want them to get out there as soon as possible, okay? So again, how can you get a high tunnel with zero out of pocket? You can get a high tunnel with zero out of pocket by spending at or right below the amount that you are awarded. You can get a high tunnel with zero out of pocket by requesting an advance payment at the beginning. You can get a high tunnel with zero out of pocket by assigning payment to your vendor for the remaining balance. Now, I don't know if all vendors accept a assignment of payment for their remaining balance or for their deposit, but I know that Nifty Hoops does, which is why you should really take a look at Nifty Hoops. They are an approved NRCS high tunnel builder. So therefore, they're already on the USDA's list as approved vendors. So they've gone through the process, they understand the paperwork, and they can make everything seamless for you. So if you have any questions, comments, like, subscribe, leave me a comment down in the box down there. And if you want to see a video on us installing the roof on this high tunnel or installing the solar, there will be a video here and a video here if they pop up in the right place. I have one special note. When you're getting your high tunnel, the baseboards, which is the wood that you see installed, companies offer this in treated and untreated wood. We chose untreated wood. Yes, we know that it's down on the ground and that it's untreated. But here is the catch for that. In the event that you are a organic farmer or you want to be certified later as an organic farmer, treated wood on your high tunnel or whatever it is you're growing in will work against you. You cannot have treated wood and be organic. That is from what I read on USDA. Take it for what it's worth. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.